Just bang on. So 30% of people cut something off and then with hindsight said, I jumped too soon.
Yeah.
Go back. Go back. Front back.
Do it.
Back. Tell them you're
Chase
sorry.
them.
Go for it.
Meet them at the airport.
This is the moment. Don't let them get on the plane. You are tuned into Season with Salt, the weekly show on Salt's YouTube channel where we explore all things Christian dating. And today, it's a special one because this guy, believe it or not, has been here for every single episode we filmed. It's Matt behind the camera. Woo! But we're going to be talking about the idea of certainty in dating. Because I know for me, I've dated and there have been people I've kind of liked, but even in early stages, I haven't been certain I could marry that person or certain that they would fit in well with my friends or my lifestyle, and it's put me off. And maybe I've cut things off, or maybe I have put barriers in place or something like that. When actually, how certain do we need to be?
Right, yeah.
Is kind of what I think. So, do you feel like you need certainty very quickly? Like, at what point do you think you should start asking yourself the question, could this be forever?
Yes, I think it's always got to be like in the background at like early on, but not a big thing. It's just got to be like, you've got to be looking for the red flags. Like, from the start.
Okay, so red flag hunting from date one.
Yeah, from the first date, like onwards, or from the match and the conversation onwards.
Red flag for you?
Like, I can't think of a serious one. But like,
if they didn't want to have kids and you wanted to have
kids. Or if they like hate dogs, because I mean, come on, like that's a massive red flag. Who hates dogs?
So I actually disagree. I'm gonna totally like, I don't know if we're gonna thumb war this out or how we'll solve it. But
I'll just cut the cameras.
That's it. And they never saw him again. Okay, I think don't look for those type of red flags. I think look for red flags like, is someone emotionally abusive? Like,
that is another red flag. Yes, yeah.
Anything that is actually like, that's danger for me, for my safety, for my spiritual, emotional, mental, physical well-being. Yeah, totally. Be looking for those from day dot, from the profile right the way through.
We don't want that.
That's a hard no from us.
Yeah.
But actually, like, if it's things like, do they like dogs, do they smoke, I think park it.
Okay, fair.
Just park it for now.
Yeah.
And work out to what extent you vibe, or to what extent you chat and laugh and stuff like that. But, okay, so you're here as a man who is not dating, who is not single.
No.
You've put a ring on it.
I've put a ring on it.
And you haven't, it's not locked in. The wedding is
It's on the way to be locked in.
It's in the process of being locked in. So you're engaged.
I'm engaged.
To a wonderful woman who
She's great.
Who I met this morning.
Today, yeah.
I did actually meet her this morning. First set eyes on your fiancée, were you like, I'm marrying that woman?
Absolutely not. I was in a state. I was like exhausted. It was the end of an evening service on a Sunday. I played the drums. I'd just been in the band for 2 services in a row.
Women love someone in the band.
Love it.
That's why I did it. That's why I got into it.
Good.
I was just tired. I wanted to go home.
Yeah.
I was chatting to somebody in the band beforehand, so I was just about to finish my time at film school.
Yeah.
So that had like been in the conversation, and then they just come and like grab me at the end of the service. Literally, like, even the chairs are packed away. And like, at this point, like, I'm good to go home. Like, I'm a drummer. I don't need to pack anything down, really.
No.
Like, I take my sticks and I'm out.
Yeah. Perks. Perks of percussion. Yeah. Percussion perks.
That's it. And they like grab me by the wrist. They run me over to this girl that's on the welcome team, an intern at church.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, Matt, like, this is Gemma. She's about to go and do film at uni. You guys should chat." And it was literally just like, "Oh, film, talk," and like that was it. That was it. And I was so uninterested. I was being nice.
Yeah.
I was being nice. I wasn't
You're
being.
Christian.
Yeah. But I was like, "Oh, hi. Like, you know, like tell me about the course. Like, where are you doing it? Like, how long have you been interested in it?" And like, just a bit of a chat. And I was just like, right, like, if you want to chat about like any of this, like, I'll give you my number.
Yeah.
If you want to meet up, you message me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to pester you because you could be like equally not
in your
wanting
mind
this.
then,
Yeah.
Were you thinking like to chat about film school and to impart wisdom?
100%.
Or were you thinking like possibly more?
I was literally thinking, I hope she doesn't get the wrong impression about this. Like,
really?
so that's why I made such a point of being like, I'm going to give you my number and you can message me. I'm not the other way around. Yeah, I don't want your number so I can message you weirdly. I want you to have my number. And I literally, and I literally said, if you don't text me, like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm not going to be like super offended.
She was like, this guy, he's so aloof.
Like, if you're finding this as awkward as me, don't worry about it.
But then at what point were you like, okay, I do know that I want to propose and make this person my wife and marry them and build a life together?
I think so it wasn't really a specific moment because I think it had happened really like gradually. And I think there was probably like a moment, but the moment was I looked back on how it had been and realised actually I'd become more of myself in this. And actually, I know, it's really cheesy.
I got the shivers.
I realised that I had not known, like at the time, but I'd become happier.
Yeah.
And like I was becoming more of myself when I was around her, and I wasn't like there were no walls up anymore. And I was like, oh, that didn't even hurt. Like that, like I accidentally just said all of that.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like the first time I said like I love you, it just came out. I was literally, I said it a bit too soon.
Okay.
Like I'll be honest, a bit too soon. It was literally, we're saying like good night and goodbye, and literally just said night, love you.
And you were like,
and I literally the first time
I love how both of us were like,
yeah, I was literally like, I'm like so sorry. Like, please don't feel like you need to say it back. I was like, that just came out. But I did say like, I'm not going to take it back.
okay, good.
But like, please don't feel like any pressure to say it back or anything like that. And then she said it back. She said it back. Yeah, like it just felt so easy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is what a relationship's meant to be like. Because I'd been in a relationship before that really wasn't like good for me.
Yeah.
And I had like baggage from that to work through still.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd worked through all of it. And then as we started to date, I'd realised the way that she treated me with such love and kindness, it actually realised I had more baggage that I didn't realise was baggage.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's how I'm meant to be treated.
Yes.
Oh,
come on.
this,
what a woman.
right, okay, I'm there now. Oh, actually, I need to go back and deal with that stuff because I thought that was normal.
Yeah.
And that was a big moment for me as well. That moment of like, okay, this, like, she has given me like more than I was asking for here.
Oh.
And like, didn't make me feel like that was like a lot of effort.
Yeah. And I love that, like, you're speaking that language of like, she gave that. That was a gift to her.
Yeah.
And if she was here, hopefully she would say that you gave her things.
I hope so. I try.
It's about giving rather than sort of taking and and sort of having an agenda and going into it and being like, well, this person needs to make me this, and this. Actually, you want to let it happen, let it grow, and turn around and go, okay, so I am growing into myself in this. I feel like this is the right place for me to be. I think because I talk about relationships a lot, obviously here, you know, you have to sit through it.
I've loved it.
But also, you know, with the book I talk about, and I go to churches and and we talk about dating. And something that comes up time and time again is, I'm seeing someone, but I'm not sure. And it's such a cause of upset and anxiety for the person who feels that they have to choose because they're stuck in this place between not wanting to be hurt, but also not wanting to hurt. But actually, I think we can cut off a relationship too early because we're not certain, because we don't want to risk hurting the other person. And actually, like, dating's about risk.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it. You know, someone entering into a relationship knows that they risk getting hurt. Give them more credit. It may hurt. It'll hurt if you break up short term or long term. Yeah. But you do need to allow it the space for certainty to grow. You can't expect it to be there. And I think that actually it's really important to include the other person in those conversations.
Yeah.
I say this time and time again, a breakup does not need to be a surprise party. You know, like, actually say to the person, you know, we're getting to the stage where we're looking forward and I love this, this and this, but if there was a question mark for me, it's this. It's that we're not communicating. It's that I worry this, this and this. Give them a chance to either say, I agree and I don't think we're compatible, or to say, okay, I didn't even think of that. And actually, I don't place that much weight on that aspect of my life. So I can adapt, I can change. I'd love to grow in that area.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, like, oh, okay, maybe you've highlighted somewhere I can actually, maybe my communication isn't where it could be. So let's work on it together.
Yeah. And that's a green flag.
It's a green flag. If you're enjoying this conversation, don't forget to hit like and subscribe at the wherever that is at the bottom, because we've got so much great content on the Salt YouTube channel. So it's not just our opinions that count.
Of course.
I have opened this up to the world via the small subsection of the world that happens to be on my Instagram.
It's all of the world. It's all of them. All of them.
Poor people who've decided to engage with me and just get subjected to relentless surveys.
You love a survey on your Instagram.
Okay, so here's what I asked. If you're married, did you at any point doubt that this person was the one you wanted to marry? And I did specify that I would keep the answer anonymous, so I wouldn't be calling people out like, oh, you weren't sure. Yeah. How many people do you think said they were certain from the get-go, percentage-wise, and how many do you think said it was more of a process?
Oh, I feel like 70-30 in favour of it being a process.
Not bad.
Okay.
28-72. So that's effectively it. Yeah. Okay, so somewhere around a quarter to a third of people were like, actually, I knew. Everyone else, despite getting there eventually, initially didn't have that certainty. Yeah. Can you imagine if they'd just walked away? If they'd just been like, I'm not certain, so thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
Bad idea.
And also, what are those other like 30% like doing that just makes them so sure? I'm teach me, because like
bring me your wisdom.
Yeah, like what are you like eating or drinking or something that is just making you like so certain of your choices?
And I do love hearing those stories, but I think we hear more of them. Like she just struck me down, or I just saw him and I was like, that's it. This is it.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
dating.
a Hollywood sort of drama, isn't it?
And like, it's so great for those people, but super unhelpful for people who are dating because very rarely does someone go, oh, and I saw her and I was like, meh. Have you ever broken up with someone, even though you like them, because you felt you should be more certain about the relationship? What percentage do you think said yes?
Because you weren't certain about the relationship. I go 60-40. In favour of saying yes.
65% said they had. This is
it's because I've heard you do so many of them and everyone else.
Yeah, you're like tuned.
I've done my homework.
Yeah, that's it.
I know your audience.
You
now.
really know the demographic that we're working with. Let's do one more. This is the last one. Do you regret breaking up with someone because you weren't certain and think you may have cut it off too soon? How many people do you think said yes to that?
See, we're Christians and we don't like regret, so I don't know how honest they'd have been. But I'm going to say. I think a majority would have said no to this. So I reckon I'm going to say 70-30 again in favour of like no regrets.
That's bang on.
Is it actually?
That's bang on. So 30% of people cut something off and then with hindsight said, I jumped too soon. Yeah. Go back. Front back.
Do it.
Tell them you're
Chase
sorry.
them.
Go for it.
Meet them at the airport.
This is the moment. Don't let them get on the plane. But what I do think is if you're in that stage of dating and you're like, I just don't know, don't cut it off too soon.
Yeah.
Don't worry that you don't know. Take steps to grow the relationship rather than pull back from that place. That's not cruel, that's kind. That is honouring that person's time. That is investing in what you're developing. Yeah. That's gold. That's so great. Thank you so much for sharing your own experiences, for being so bang on with the audience experience.
Wow, what can I say?
For filming this so beautifully.
Wow.
And now for coming and actually sharing your wisdom and viewpoint on this side of the camera.
Thanks. I'm after your job really. So.
Okay.
So that's it.
Well, this is taking a turn. If you have enjoyed this show, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we can't wait to see you next week.